cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again, cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. It's time again.
What up, y'all? You tuned in to the 52 Scott Podcast. Welcome to this edition of Black Friday. I'm your host, Slash, and with me I got Comedian 96, K Money, and Freddie G. Together, we the Mind of Men. Don't forget to like and subscribe, plus follow us on Twitter, 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. Welcome back to Black Friday. So, what is wealth? I want to talk about today because, see, most of us, normal people, you know, and when I say normal people, I mean people that don't make $1 million, $100,000 a year, you know, in that category. We know that we'll go and buy us a nice car, or we'll go and buy nice clothes, or we're going to buy nice jewelry and stuff like that. Now, the difference in that and other things determines whether something is wealth or not.
Correct.
So the things that I just mentioned, the nicest car or the jewelry, is not wealth. Let's not get mistaken for what wealth is. Doesn't mean you're wealthy when you buy these things, because that's not wealth. So what is wealth? Wealth is when you go into having income, extra income outside of your regular salary, so that you can sustain whether you lose your job and still be able to live your lifestyle, send your kid to college, invest in businesses and stuff like that. This is what wealth is. So wealth is having the total financial value of what you really own, you know, your household assets, basically. You know, auto loans, credit card debt, none of that is wealth. What most families can do, and I'm saying families being that there's more than one or two grown members in the household that goes to work. It's important to put yourself in that position because the way inflation and our economy is going right now. You know, most people don't make as much as $50,000-$60,000 a year, and just if you right there, you just barely just, you know,
you living paycheck to paycheck.
You know what I mean? You're still not really flourishing in nothing. You know, so that's why wealth is important, because if you have some sort of income coming in on top of your income, this means you've taken some money and you've started a business, which is most important for wealth. And wealth creates generational wealth. So it's important to try and start that, you know, and but know what wealth is, because some of us think, okay, I go out and buy a nice car, I'm wealthy, or, you know.
I think Shaq, when he was playing ball. He's on TNT. I don't think he was on Shaq. He was playing. He said that I'm rich, but the people that write my check are wealthy.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big, because he said you don't know them people. You know, you don't even know who they is. They the box owner. Those are the people. Those are the wealthy people, because it's this basketball. He said when I'm gone, my money can run out. But the stadium,
they still got
it. The fans,
that's wealth.
It's gonna be passed down to the next generation.
That's wealth, you know, and it's important to try to at least build something like that, even if in your lifetime you don't complete that. You know, maybe one of your offspring, you may have taught something, and maybe they'll pick up that torch and move further into having generational wealth or family wealth, period, you know. But I think it's very important, you know, and are there wealth gaps? Yes, there are. Being that most Caucasian white people there's a gap in there because they might obtain more money per year than those that are black or Hispanic, or other cultures.
Yes.
Because majority of these cultures, black and Spanish, they may max out anywhere from $32,000 a year to $38,000 a year. And that's probably 90%, 95, if not 95% of all blacks and Hispanics. This is their bracket, of what they make if they working.
Right.
So there is a big gap in that when it comes to white people. Their average household yearly is like $184,000 yearly.
A white family?
Opposed to what I just spoke of Hispanics and blacks. So it's a big gap in there, which is why it's really important for us to understand what we need to do to change that.
Correct.
Because what makes it worse is that when you a black person and you go to be a first-time home buyer, you pay more taxes than they do.
That is true.
Because of your color. You know what I mean? So we have to really take this serious as a race of people and think about wealth and how to obtain it and how to create generational wealth.
And to keep it.
Because here's the thing, the economy is not going to get better. When have we ever seen the economy get better? But how many times can you say the economy's gotten worse and worse and worse? It's never getting better.
Right.
So the wealth part is very, 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 very important because in 20 years, we may not see this, but we don't know what's going to happen. But judging by the way this is going, the financial gap in, racial areas is going to always remain that way until we change that. We don't even make up 1% of or 1/10% of the billionaires.
No, we don't.
In the world.
That bracket you say that we fall under those folks, it's easier said than done to sit there and say, to save.
Yeah, that's true.
Or establish this wealth.
And that is true. Yeah.
Because they're living paycheck to paycheck. So how do you suggest, if at all, they...
Well, one key factor in that was when I mentioned family members in a household. That's one thing. Contributing to a household. Mm-hmm. When you have 3 or more adults living in the same house, contributing each the same amount towards everything, you can save some money.
Yeah, you can.
You know what I mean? Period. If everybody contribute in the same way, and this could be 3 adults in a house that you paying maybe $14, $15 a month for.
Right.
3 people can stay on top of that and the bills and still save some money.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
At the most, that's maybe $700 a month.
I think that part of getting to a wealthy stage, of course, if you don't have shit, you got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere.
So number one, I get it where you say, okay, well, you got to save money. I get that. But at some point, you probably have to obtain some sort of assets that's worth something and not going to depreciate.
A business.
That actually contributes to your wealth.
Your wealth. You get a business.
If you actually have something that you could get that's actually worth something. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's important. But I also look at wealth a little bit differently than what we're actually discussing. So, of course, the financial part of it when it comes to wealth. Of course, the financial part when it comes to wealth, I get it. And that's what most people think of when you think of wealth. You think of money and assets. But I also look at wealth as being healthy. You hear health is wealth. And your state of mind, your mental state of mind. You can have a state of mind to where you are joyful. Most of the time, you keep riffraff out your life, and I think that you have a healthy mental state. I think that that's wealth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but I get it. For the topic of the show, we're speaking of finances, but I think that you can find wealth in other areas as well. So, health is wealth.
Yeah, that's true. Being healthy is a big part of being wealthy, because if you're not healthy enough to go get it, you can't be in your bed going to get the money. It's just it don't work like that,
No.
And then again, it depends on how long you've been invested in whatever it is you invested in. But yeah, the wealth factor amongst us as blacks needs to step up a little bit. I mean, the Hispanics passed us, and for the reason of me just saying what I said, because there's several adults living in one household that all contribute equally to the bill. So they're able now to save their money. Most of them got businesses. They got a food truck somewhere.
Yep.
All of them. I've seen mama bring all of them to work to mow the lawn. She driving the truck with the hitch on the back and the lawnmowers and stuff. She driving that, so she just sit out there and wait for them to finish. Boom, they load up, she ride off. So this is the type of stuff. That's one household working together, making that money. But it takes that, because for us, like you say, we live in paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
The only way we're going to be able to do it is not spend so much of that paycheck.
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sacrifice. So you have to find a way to sacrifice in order to get to this wealth stage. But you have to be able to think it first. If you can't think of what you need to do to get to that stage, then you're never going to get there anyway.
You're never going to get there.
So this is just a thought, and I would like for everybody to kind of take some time and just kind of think about this, It's okay to want nice things, but then you have to think about, what is that going to do for me wealth-wise?
Right.
Is that going to protect me in 10 or 15 years if my retirement runs out? Or, what's going to help me survive or help me allow my family to survive if I'm not here?
And that's
to do it.
That's the generational wealth
Exactly.
that we're getting at. So we want to be able to have things to, like this podcast, for example. We got some years left, but eventually I'm pretty sure our predecessors or people that come after us want to, hey, Dad, if, can we take over your podcast? Or, so this is something that could go on and on.
Yeah,
and
you build something.
Exactly.
Wealth, a legacy type of deal. If it whatever the case is,
whatever it is,
if you own a business already, then what you do is you get your children involved in the business. You teach them the business, and anybody in the family that you trust, that that's going to do a good job with running this business.
Exactly.
And that's how you obtain a level of wealth. Because even once you get there, there's still so far to go. You still got a long way to go. You're not done when you start. You know you were making $38,000 and now you're making $80,000 a year. You're still not done.
Right.
You still got work to do.
Still got work to do.
Yeah. Now you have to think a little harder on. Okay.
Right.
I got that going. I want to keep that going, but I'm making more money now. But I want to save more money now. So you know what you got to do. You got to take more money. You got to invest in another business.
Exactly.
And now this is more work on your plate, which is definitely necessary. So if you lazy, don't think about wealth.
He said, if you lazy, don't think about
because you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
A lot of these billionaires out here, man, a lot of them are over 50 years old.
Yeah,
so
you know what? You're right about that.
Yeah, because it took them years.
It took them years to get to where they are now.
To get that money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
With the exception of Rihanna.
With the exception of Rihanna.
Yeah,
of
it's
course.
always an exception to the rule.
Yeah, she did something
magical.
Mystic. Not many women can do what she did. It's only a few out here anyway.
You ain't lying.
But yeah, that type of wealth and getting to the wealthy part is what's important. And I think most Americans, black, white, whatever you are, need to think more of building a wealth or generational wealth for your family. I think too many people now are sidetracked by all these different brands of stuff, materialistic stuff. None of that is wealth, is what I'm trying to say. So just because you got,
it gives a false perception.
I do have an interest because now we're talking about generation. I got a thought that just popped, a little thought bubble that just popped in my head. All the billionaires, black billionaires, do they have? And I know Oprah. You got Jay-Z. You got other than Jay-Z and the kid, the child, Blue. I don't know of anyone else that has like a child or a billionaire. I'm talking billionaire. To follow them to pass it
and
down.
What they're
like
doing.
Oprah, I don't know who she would pass on her money.
Tyler Perry.
She would pass it to Tyler Perry?
No, Tyler Perry has a child. He
he
pass
does?
his down.
And he's a billionaire?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was a billionaire. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well I'll retract my statement. My bad. But I'm thinking about Oprah. Who would she tax her billions on to? Who else? Billions. Some of them I just can't name. I know who they are. I just don't know their names. And I know that they're billionaires. They got this, but I don't think they have kids.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they probably just keep their personal life, on the hush.
On the hush, as far as passing that.
But there's some
their
family
wealth.
member that's there.
Who do you pass that wealth to?
That's amongst them. And they're gonna have that one family member. And you will too if you had that kind of money.
Yes.
You have to have somebody, And even if it's just power of attorney, you can do that also, So you have to have somebody in mind for this wealth to carry on that wealth, not that's just going to get the money and say, oh, I'm living good for the next 10, 15 years off this money.
Yeah.
They not trying to invest the money back in or keep the business going or nothing like that. Well, you don't want to give it to those people. So you have to be smart throughout this whole process, But I think what we definitely need to do, again, as a race, is close that gap. We need more of us building generational wealth or just wealth, period. We need to start trying to get ourselves and our families in a good position to where when that rainy day comes, we not losing what we got or we not suffering to try to pay something when we have no income, So that's what wealth is. It doesn't mean you get rich and you stop working. It means you work to get rich.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And the more that you work and the more riches that you get money-wise, the wealthier you get when you use the right mind frame. You can't have the wrong mind frame doing this either. That's why I'm saying we have to have the right mind state, and that's the only way we're going to close that gap between us. The black culture we need to be at least halfway in between where they at and where we are.
A lot of us don't know how to get there, though.
Exactly.
A lot of blacks, we're just kind of uneducated,
Right?
Or and if it's not that, we're afraid to take risks.
Yeah.
You have to be a risk taker.
Or afraid of failure.
Yeah, that is true.
And real quick, Comedian 96, black billionaire that was right in our face, Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
He got kids.
he got kids.
But he's having fights with all.
still-
See, like they either having fights with their kids.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
They're
though.
not on good terms
here's
with
the thing.
Magic Johnson.
Yeah, Magic Johnson.
His child is, ain't she? He's a homosexual, and they
But
having
look, he
fights,
got more
they
than
going-
one. He got more than one child.
Oh, he got more than a child. I don't
And
know.
Michael Jordan got
Yeah.
some little child with the white girl that he
yeah.
with.
Oh, well,
sure do.
yeah,
So,
I can't
yeah,
keep up.
so-
I can't keep up with the Jones. I can't keep up with how many kids they have. But it seems like they're all fighting with their kids. That's the point I was trying to make. But I didn't know Magic had more than one. I just knew
The
he had to
money's
watch
going
that
somewhere
one.
because they can't take it with
Now-
them when they leave.
And if you don't know about that kid, what would make you think they would pass it to them if you don't know about him? Make you
Now
think.
I do want to mention that there are, like y'all mentioning, these black celebrities with that kind of money, but are they responsible for giving you the game on how to go get it? No.
No.
You can watch them if you wanna.
Yeah.
Or you can say, hey, what am I gonna do?
I think a lot of responsible black billionaires or millionaires who's responsible to pass things down, I think that they'll teach their children, or they'll put things in place for their children to be successful. Or look at Donald Trump.
That's true.
And so I think that they'll, I don't like him, but he's put his children in place.
Set them up in position.
Yeah,
to
and
continue.
I think that.
But
black
what color
folks
is
do
that? I said black billionaires.
No.
I didn't say white.
But that's what I just said. I think black
Yeah.
people, black billionaires, shit. I mean, we're not that fucked up.
Yeah. I'm not saying we fucked up, but it seems like we have the most stuff going on.
Situation. Them white folks got shit going on.
They do too, but they better keep it on the wraps than us.
When you say stuff like
okay,
drama,
so with Magic Johnson, he's a billionaire, but he had something going on with his gay, whatever. Michael Jordan always had something going on with his children. All the billionaires. Oprah just don't have children.
What parent don't have issues?
That's just part of life.
That's just life.
I get that, but not all of the white billionaires are going through that. Not every last one of them. Some of them. But Trump, I don't know. Trump,
you just ain't paying attention to them.
I don't pay attention to really nobody. But if you putting it out there on Instagram, your whole business and all that, asking your children for money and stuff, and they throwing it out there.
That's the evil what the money did to them people.
Yeah,
that was one of the shows that we did.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on, just wealth is obtainable, I think. If you have the right ideas in mind, and I think we should look more into obtaining some sort of wealth as my ebony people, and closing that gap to where now we can kind of govern more stuff ourselves and we can get our way or get some of the things that we want to get done. But we've got to build that wealth, and we just got to close that gap. So now I want to go to our black facts you can't take back. This person that I chose was for a reason, because he fought for civil rights, for equality in people of color and white America. So one of the civil rights leader, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Martin Luther King Jr., born January 15th, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. Died on April 4th, 1968 in Memphis, Tennessee. But he was one of our great U.S. civil rights leaders that kind of had a lot to do with having a dream and giving black people, a voice to kind of be equal with everybody. So shout out Martin Luther King Jr. Love to celebrate your day in January. So that's going to do it for this episode of Black Friday. Hit that like button and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, The 52 Scott Podcast. On Twitter, @52 Scott Podcast. Check us out on Monday for Music Monday. See y'all then.
So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the